I want to teach you guys some very important rules for a colon. So this is what 99% of students do not know. There's 3 rules for a colon. Now, once you know these 3 rules for a colon, you can now go ahead and check to see if the colon is used correctly in the sentence. So the first rule, students might know, but the first rule is the information before the colon has to be a complete sentence. It has to be an independent clause. The second rule for a colon is looking at what comes after the colon. Now, this is what 99% of students do not know. So you got to think about what is the function of the information that comes after a colon. So in other words, what does the information after a colon have to do? The information after the colon must always clarify the information that came before it. Okay, so must always clarify the previous information. So in other words, the information after the colon has to hit back on. It has to refer back to what was previously mentioned, and it has to clarify it or explain it. Now, this is what the SAT is going to do. The SAT is going to kind of test you on whether or not the information after the colon clarifies or whether it expands on the previous information, right? So an example of information that clarifies would be something like this. If I had a sentence that said, guys, I have one main goal in life, and then I put a colon here, right? So I have one goal in life. And then from there, the information after the colon says balance. Okay, so now this is where the information after the colon does clarify what was previously talked about. It clarifies what that one goal is, right? So what's my one goal? It's about balance, right? Balance. So notice how it kind of hits back on what was previously mentioned in a way that kind of clarifies or gives it more specificity, right? Now that's going to be different from information that expands on what was previously talked about. So if something expands on what was previously talked about, it's going to provide you new information in a way that just kind of moves the information forward, not referring back, but kind of moves it forward. Okay, forward. I'm trying to look into the webcam, forward. So if I say, guys, I have one goal I want to achieve before I turn 50. Okay, now this colon here is not going to be used correctly. Well, why not? Because the information after the colon does not clarify what was previously mentioned, but instead it kind of expands on it, right? It builds on what was previously talked about, right? So in this case, the colon would be grammatically incorrect, would be the wrong answer. It violates that punctuation rule.